The growing class action against the Victorian Government. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because I'd like to have a look at this article from news.com.au, which is discussing Jim's Mowing and how they're joining a class action against the state government over alleged mishandling of the pandemic. Now Jim's Mowing, the founder, has been, well, quite adamant and quite vocal about his criticism of the Victorian government's handling of this crisis, their extreme lockdowns. And I know there are people there that are going to say, oh, we need to destroy businesses left, right and centre. But there are, well, divided opinions on the effectiveness of these extreme measures. Historically, they've been considered before. Nothing we do is new. And some of the greatest epidemiologists that have defeated things like smallpox were vocal against them. It's a shame they're not around anymore. So, hundreds of Jim's Mowing franchisees are joining a huge class action lawsuit that could cost the Victorian government millions. And you know what'll happen? The Victorian government will just suck that out of all of the citizens. So you pay for their incompetence, guys. About 700 Jim's Mowing franchisees prevented from working under Stage 4 restrictions are joining a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the Victorian government. Carbone Lawyers Managing Director Tony Carbone told NCA Newswire his firm would be pushing for about $20 million in compensation. The bottom line is, these gardeners should have been working. How is it possible that a gardener working on his own outside can infect anyone, he said. Exactly. It just shows you the utter incompetence of the Victorian government. They've stuffed this whole thing up right from the beginning. Again and again. And now nobody knows who's taking responsibility for everything. It reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode of the Dumb Aliens where no one was responsible. That's our parliament, guys. That's our parliament. Does that show you leadership from Andrews? And he'll probably get in again. He will probably get in again. The idiots will vote him in. The government's whole decision-making on who can and can't work was so arbitrary, these gardeners have been left so destitute they are suffering from mental illness. And that's the sad reality of it. That is the sad reality of it. We're paying a price for this. The entire nation is paying a price. The action is likely to be the biggest in Australia's history, with Swinburne Law School Dean Miko Barcia saying it would dwarf any class action that had previously occurred. Nearly every Victorian has been adversely affected by this, he said. Jim's Mowing founder Jim Penman told NCA Newswire about 700 of his franchisees and self-employed tradesmen had been affected in the past 10 weeks, losing about $3,000 a week. We told the Premier, the Health Minister and other senior ministers personally responsible for the failures of quarantine that unleashing this disaster upon our state. Further, the Premier's arbitrary action in ignoring the advice from the Department of Health and Human Services and barring sole operators from working brought needless loss and misery upon many. Sounds like a open and shut case. What do you think, everyone? What do you think? The problem is our political leaders are so isolated from reality. Our civil servants are completely isolated from reality. So many of them are not actually having any... their lives aren't being affected at all. They're not encountering any economic impact of their decisions. Maybe we should tie politicians' pay to the performance of the country. If they do a terrible job, well, then they lose their pay. If they do a real terrible job, like enter us into a deep recession, maybe they should start losing their pension. And that should flow through to all civil servants. The senseless waste of this measure is shown by the fact that council gardeners continued working in groups through the lockdown, thus raising the risk of infection. So the government workers, the government employees, they still kept working. They still kept working through the lockdown. Well, there you go. I think we saw footage of Labour members' offices as well getting the gardens done. But no, you can't have independent business people. You can't have independent business people. One rule for them, another rule for us. Fantastic. Welcome to Australia. This senseless policy still continues, with dog grooming salons allowed to operate with multiple staff, while sole operators cannot. A rational policy would have insisted that all gardening and dog grooming work be done by individuals, thus reducing the risk of infection with far less mental and financial injury. Yes, but this isn't rational. It's not rational. They're not listening to anything, they're using common sense. They're just reactionary, and they're committed now. The political class are committed to this. It's part of their identity. This is their legacy. This is the defining moment of their career. Dan Andrews will be remembered for this for the rest of his life. This is what he will go down in the history books as. So he can't back down now. It's impossible. Psychologically, he'd have a breakdown. He either needs to have a mental breakdown or he has to just keep going with it. Mr. Penman said Carbone lawyers were so confident of a result they'd agreed to a no-win, no-fin arrangement with 10% to go to the firm if the lawyers was successful. Yes, I've lost a bit of money during this, but I'm not interested in getting that money back. I just want every one of my franchisees to get every cent back because they're the ones who are doing it tough and going through a lot of financial pressure, the Mowing magnate said. It comes after Mr. Penman revealed plans last month to seek compensation for individual franchisees through the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal. He said the legal pathway would still be going ahead, with Mr. Penman saying both options will be pursued. I don't care how it's done. I just want the money to go back into the hands of these hard workers who should never have been prevented from working and earning an honest living. Why do you need to earn an honest living, guys? Just rain UBI on everyone. We can all just sit there and not do anything. Welcome to the socialist future. Yeah. That makes complete sense. Gardening, landscaping, and garden maintenance businesses with an ABN were now considered low-risk industries and were allowed to return to on-site work from September 28th. Jim's Mowing franchisees were ordered to stop work on August 5th. Following the Premier's decision, lawn mowing and gardening maintenance were not allowed under strict guidelines. The Premier's office was contacted for comments, with a spokesperson saying it would be inappropriate to comment on a matter before the courts. So there we have it, everyone. There we have it. Jim's Mowing, a class action lawsuit against the Victorian government. I think this would be fantastic if it were to go win, to get some media attention. I just hope the Victorian government doesn't pull the tricks that the West Australian government did, kind of destroying all of Clive Palmer's opportunities for legal action. Well, guys, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, and I'm being invaded by our kids, you can use our merch, links, or other methods. Take care, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye for now.